I'm Dr. Kristen Ruccio. I am a professor here in the English, Philosophy, and World Languages department, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about catchy titles and abstracts for projects. And the title of this video is why you should have a catchy title, how to write a catchy title, when you should write a title, what abstracts are all about. Excuse me. How to write an abstract, what an abstract should entail. Okay, I'm actually nodding off during my title. Obviously, that's an example of a title that's way too long. Don't have it so long that it becomes like a narrative on its own. The sweet spot for a title is so that your audience knows just enough about the project to get interested. So sometimes people want to put something dramatic as their title. Let's say you were doing a project for the colloquium about how we need more sidewalks or better sidewalks in Jonesboro. Those could actually be two different topics. So let's just stick with why we need more. So it could be Jonesboro, comma, we need more sidewalks, exclamation point. That's sort of one that's grabby attention. If you wanted to have a more sort of calm tone, you could put research into the lack of adequate sidewalks in Jonesboro, Arkansas. That lets us know exactly what the project entails, but it doesn't get into so much detail that you find yourself nodding off. Now you can go too short on titles too. If I had said the title of this video is title, abstract, it's like, is it a modern art project? Is it some sort of commentary on why titles are bad? We just don't know. We don't have enough context with that title. So you wouldn't want to say Jonesboro Sidewalk as your title either. You want to have like something that sounds good. A trend right now with titles is to have something before it and then a colon and then something that works kind of as a subtitle, which gives more details. So you could do Jonesboro Sidewalks, colon, why we don't have enough of them. And you could do an exclamation point if you really want to make a point. Dramatically, but you could just put why we need more of them or why we don't have enough of them, depending on how you want to portray your research. Now, something to remember is that oftentimes we learn as we write, as we look at our data, as we put our research together. Sometimes the scope and main point of a project can change. So I often work with a working title for my projects. I might put something like Sidewalks Bad, just for me. I usually put it in red font so I remember to go back and change it. Or sometimes I even put working title here. Remember to change this before you submit. Because you might start out thinking about why we don't have enough sidewalks as your main project, but what you end up writing about is something more along the lines of how we need renovation downtown. I mean, I don't know. These are just examples that you could write. I'm just saying be willing to hold that space in your project for what you actually end up doing, because sometimes that's the research process. It can be writing to learn is a real thing. There's like reams of research about it, so allow yourself that space. Don't get so caught up in the idea this project must be this that you end up doing something that limits what you could have potentially done on your project. So catchy title. Aim for Goldilocks level, just right. Not too long, not too short, definitely not too generic. Do not put Colloquium project. No, that's not good. Nobody's going to want to click on that. You want to make sure you don't fall into like clickbait territory with too much drama or sensationalism, but enough so that the people who are reading through, scrolling through the website, looking at your project, potentially, sorry about that bad camera work, know what you researched so that they can have at least that click, and then they'll read your abstract to see, is this a project I want to fully engage? So abstracts, what are they? I think of them as a micro, really detailed, really purposeful, short summary of your entire project. Now, I have seen abstract calls that are as short as 100 words. I have seen abstracts that are as long as 500 words. Generally, I think between 150 to 300 words is probably pretty appropriate for an abstract. It is important to note that you will often get a word count from either the publication or the website or wherever you're submitting your work to. They'll often tell you how long the abstract has to be. And in my, inexperience when I was first writing professionally, I thought, oh, they have people who do those abstracts for you. Nope, the author almost always writes the abstract. Why? Because the author is the one who's most familiar with the work. So you know your work, you write the abstract. So again, pay attention to the word count, but in general, 150 to 250 words. The first sentences, maybe one or two, should probably be something about the context. You could have data about your research, like, are you investigating Jonesboro? You could have a little demographic data about how big we are, when it was founded, things like that. Population demographics. The next couple of sentences are going to address like your research question, your thesis statement, the main point of why you undertook the project. The next sentences or two, you can address your methods. How did you undertake this research? Was it mostly secondary research from the library? Did you delve into the archives of the Jonesboro Sun? Did you interview people? Did you survey people? Only you know what your methods were, but that should be the next couple of things you talk about. The next few sentences, you're going to have a bit of an overview of what you actually found through those research methods. What were your main points? What were your discoveries? And then you could end with, where you see the research going further. That's not absolutely necessary, but it's one of those ways that helps researchers who are looking at an abstract of your project see, oh, I'm interested in investigating a city about the same size. So this is a project that might be right in my wheelhouse to use in my own literature review, which we could talk about in a different video. So think about the abstract as a very succinct, and that means, short and to the point, summary of your project without any fluff, without any editorializing. You don't have to justify your project in the abstract. You've already done it. The abstract absolutely should be written after the project is absolutely complete in its final, for now, revision, the one you're going to upload/turn in. Because you don't want anything to have changed, especially in your data or your methods, so that the abstract doesn't match the project itself. The title is the first thing. I guess the final thing I want to say in this is that the title is the first thing that's going to sort of pique the interest of someone who's scrolling through maybe 100, maybe 250 results from some sort of search. And the title's first, but then the abstract really lets them know, hey, this is what they were thinking about. This was the question they asked. This is how they did it. And here's what they found. And that's going to let the reader know this is something I can really use, or maybe not for me right now. But a well-written abstract is the key to getting readership, honestly. So thank you for your kind attention. I hope you laughed at least a little, if only at my camera work. And if you've got any questions, the Writing Center here at A-State is a great place to further explore these. Or you can ask any of your professors. You can ask me. Thank you.